going on, Orlando Magic fans? Welcome to the Six-Man Show Postgame Live, presented by Thrivent, live from Berlin, Germany. Holy smokes, 11:33 p.m. out here in Berlin. My name's Kevin. Glad you're with us. And the Magic win in their final game before heading over here to join me in Europe, 128-118 over the New Orleans Pelicans. The lowly New Orleans Pelicans gave the Magic a run for their money in the first 3 quarters and some change, but how about this? The Orlando Magic turned the tide, flipped the script, and actually have a good fourth quarter on the way to a win. Welcome, everybody. My name's Kevin. I haven't been here in a while. Been traveling. I came out here to Europe a little bit early to be a tourist ahead of, obviously, the Magic's games here in Berlin on Thursday and then in London on Sunday. And so, yeah, glad to be back with you here on this Sunday night. This is a special edition of the show because Jonathan Osborne's going to join us here in just a little bit, and then it's going to become like our normal podcast that normally comes out on Mondays because Jonathan's flying over here on Monday. So it's going to be a little bit of a special episode, unique episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, again, welcome to the show. My name's Kevin. Glad you're with us. This show is brought to you by Thrivent. Marc.Abraham is a die-hard Orlando Magic fan, season ticket holder, and also a financial advisor with Thrivent. And he just wants to help Orlando Magic fans be wise with their money. And so whether you're in debt and you're struggling, or whether you're thriving financially and trying to figure out how to set yourself up best for the future, give him a call at 407-366-4364, or visit his website, or shoot him an email. Both of those are in the description below. Or maybe you just want to talk some Orlando Magic basketball. The consultation call is totally free, so give him a call. Let him know that us at the Six-Man Show sent you. Last thing I want to say before we talk about this game, I am doing this show from a hotel, and the Wi-Fi may not be the best. I don't know. So far, it looks okay. If it's spotty here or there, I apologize. This is kind of what happens when you're doing this stuff on the road and you're at the mercy of other people's gear. And so please bear with us. Hopefully it's coming through loud and clear. But anyway, glad you guys are with us. Let's see. Okay. Magic win. Not the most enjoyable game through 3 quarters, of course, as it were. You know, you'd like to see the Magic come out and flat out dominate this game against a very, very poor opponent. But unfortunately, that didn't happen tonight until the fourth quarter. The Magic outscore the Pelicans 37-20 in the fourth quarter. You hold the Pelicans at 20 points. You gave up like 90-something, 96, 98, something like that through 3 quarters. And so the fact that you're able to hold them to 20 in the fourth is huge. And you add 37 on for yourself was a big deal because this team has really struggled to score in the fourth quarter. It's been over a week now where this team has really struggled, and so very, very happy that this team was able to figure it out in the fourth quarter. And then obviously the other storyline tonight, of course, the return of Mo Wagner. After 13 months now, I guess it's been just about, Mo Wagner returns, and wow, he returned big time, scoring 8 points in just under 10 minutes, but more than anything, it was just his energy. Was huge, and you love getting the reception, that he got. It was weird he had to get it twice because the refs were a little stingy, but whatever. Yeah, great to see Mo back. This show, by the way, if you're brand new, this is our live post-game show we do after every single Orlando Magic game, and the best way to get involved is through Super Chats, and so we read every single one of those, and so we're going to start with a Super Chat here from Future with an Australian Super Chat, I believe is what that A stands for. Appreciate that. It says, loved our fourth quarter play. Still hope we find a way to play all 48 minutes. No injuries would help. So happy to have big bro Mo back. 100%. So glad to have Mo back. And yeah, that fourth quarter was totally different than the other fourth quarters that we've seen over the last week plus. And so, yeah, very, very glad to see Mo back. And yeah, very glad for that fourth quarter. Yeah, like I said, if you're just joining us, we still have a lot of people joining us. This is going to be a special episode. Jonathan Osborne is going to join us here in just a moment. And we're going to kind of go through, obviously, this game. We're going to talk about Friday's game. We're going to talk about how exciting this week is going to be here in Europe and everything in between. And so it's going to be a really, really good time. Glad you're with us here tonight. If you're watching this live or watching it later, really, really glad you're with us. Okay, let's do this. Let's just go ahead and go straight to the chat tonight. We'll hit some of these messages from the chat. We'll hit the box score, the standings, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll talk through some of this stuff with Jonathan as well. We'll hit some of these messages from the chat first, though. I'm going to skip ahead because a lot of these came in the fourth quarter, I can tell. I'm Jovi says, on another note, AB is becoming so reliable. Anthony Black continues to be very, very reliable. I think more reliable offensively than any of us ever expected, especially at this stage of his career. And so very, very happy with AB. And it's not just the scoring, like as you see coming on the screen right now, 5 rebounds and 7 assists for him tonight. He was very, very good. And he continues to be good. Even in this tough stretch the Magic have been on lately, he has been a bright spot. And so shout out to AB once again. Rom says, killer bees. Yeah. Bane, Banchero, Black tonight, all sensational. I know AB had 26. I think Desmond Bane had 26. Powell had 23, I believe. And so, yeah, that was big time from those guys. Let's see. I'm still during the game, I can tell. Yeah. The whistle's not been even. Yeah, it was very, very interesting the first half versus the second half. Sometimes you can tell when the officials either look at the game film at halftime or the coach from the other team has been in their ear at halftime. And this was one of those cases, too. The Magic had 20 free throws in the first half and barely had any in the second half. And so that was a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. The other thing that's different when I do these shows on the road is I used to have at my house, I have 2 screens. There's so much real estate to look at all these messages and look at the box score and all that kind of stuff. So I'm dancing around a little bit here, but so appreciate the patience. Let's see. Heck yeah, says good defense this fourth quarter by everyone. The defense in the fourth quarter was terrific. It was really, really good. And obviously, scoring 37 points is going to get a lot of the attention because of how bad the fourth quarter offense has been in the last week or two. But you hold the Pelicans at 20 points. They were on fire through the first 3 quarters. And it wasn't just the statistics, right, of holding them at 20 points. It was the optics, right? Like this team really, really went for it defensively in the fourth quarter. And just the intensity went up a different level. And it was really, 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 really good to see. And that's what we expect from this team every single night. Why we haven't gotten it lately, I don't know. But we got it tonight in the fourth quarter. It was really, 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 really good. Let's see. A few people talking about Jalen Suggs. Yeah, Jalen Suggs. Man, we could still use him. That is for sure. That is absolutely for sure. Devastate says, haven't enjoyed Magic basketball probably since the Nuggets game. Yeah, that was a really good one. And yeah, since then it's been really, really tough. And let's not forget, even before that was tough. The night before that was the Charlotte Hornets game when the Magic lost by 15, I believe, 120 to 105 or something like that. And that was horrible. And then you turn right around the next night, second night of back-to-back, and play the Nuggets really well. And that was really, really fun for sure. Rom says, let's wait till Franz comes back and see how AB fits with the other 4. I hope we get to see that soon. I hope it's Thursday. I can't imagine Franz doesn't play Thursday, but we'll see. We did just get a super chat here from Jalen Lawson says, to be honest, our energy was still bad. It's just the Pelicans are terrible. And I'm not one to just say that as a buzzword. The staff has to figure it out. I do agree that the energy was not good in 3 quarters. I do think the fourth quarter showed a different level of energy compared to the first 3. Guys were flying around defensively. Again, what we're used to seeing all the time. They were flying around defensively. And to me, it was an improvement from the previous 3 quarters, and honestly, a lot of the previous games, honestly. All right, I think I'm finally at the end of the game here because I see a play the song. Finally, it's time to play the song. Here we go, back and forth. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Today's a win, so let's play the song. Let's go. We got a couple super chats that came in here. One is from Jesuthas. Jesuthas. I don't know. I'll just call you Jesus. How about that? I give up. Thank you so much for that euro. We're getting the euros as I'm sitting here in Europe. This is great. Thanks for that super chat. And then we got one from Califam. It says, a fourth quarter comeback win because of crap coaching is not excusable. These bottom league teams shouldn't make us look this bad. What's our identity? Fire I don't know I've seen the Monis thing in the chat. I admittedly have not watched the post-game lives this week as I've been here in Europe. So maybe there's an inside joke from a previous post-game live that I'm missing. But yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. This team should not be in close games or trailing in the fourth quarter against a bad team like New Orleans. You're 100% right. It's not acceptable. Just because the fourth quarter was good doesn't make the first three quarters acceptable. I 100% agree. The Only Hero says, finally a good fourth quarter. So glad we got the win on Mo's first game back. Please let's try our best and stay healthy for the rest of the season. Play the song. Yeah, it was great to get a win on Mo's return. You would have hated to see Mo come back and we still lose. That would not have been a good time. Not have been a good. Atarian says, look at that. We murdered them on the glass and defended in the fourth quarter. Exactly. That's exactly how it was for me. Portsmouth Orlando Magic says, a win's a win. Play the song. Can't wait to see the Magic in person for the first time in London next week. I hope to see you there. Jonathan and myself are going to be there. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and bring Jonathan in right now. Here he is. Jonathan Osborne is here. Our friend Portsmouth Orlando Magic says they're going to be in London on Sunday, and you can join us at our pregame gathering, which is going to be at the Pilot in Greenwich, which is about a 10-minute walk away from the arena, pregame. So that game starts at 5. We're going to be there from 1 to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Hope you'll join us. And then Thursday, coming up in just a few short days here in Berlin, we're going to do a pregame gathering at the Irish Pub, which is right next door to Uber Arena. That game tips off at 8. So that gathering is going to be from like 4 to 7 p.m. Just come and go as you please. Can't wait to see you there. But Jonathan is here. Jonathan, what's up? How's it going?
Let's go to Europe, baby.
Let's do it. I'm already warming up the hotel for you. Not that we have the same hotel room. We have 2 different rooms, but I'm warming it up for you. Looking forward to having you here. But
sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, it definitely does. Intentionally so. But yeah, excited. Yeah, how are you feeling about a little journey on Monday coming out here?
Yeah, I'm finishing last couple of things of laundry. The wife and I were away this weekend for a work trip of hers, so we got back, went to church this morning, came back, getting everything ready, final things packed. As soon as we finish this, gonna go finish packing, go to bed early, and have a nice, 16, 17 hour travel day, something like that tomorrow. And then we'll be in Berlin doing the thing, watching these guys play. Hopefully get Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs back, but it was nice to get Mo back. And yeah, this one wasn't pretty, but the fourth quarter, I think, made up for it. It's just nice to be going on this trip with a win. I took a look at some stuff. I know the Pacers went on a pretty good run after their Europe trip last year. So hopefully the Magic can use this as just an opportunity to not turn the season around necessarily, because it's not like they're in dire straits right now, but we're not getting what we thought we would, and hopefully this trip brings these guys back together. They can figure out, because we can all talk about the basketball, whatever. The vibes are not great right now. Hopefully the trip is an opportunity to get some wins, reshift the vibes in the positive direction, and bring some momentum back stateside.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're just joining us, I mentioned it earlier in the show, we are doing this. I'm doing this from a hotel room in Berlin, and so the Wi-Fi is whatever the Wi-Fi is that the hotel gives us. So there's a little bit of a delay between when Jonathan and I are talking. It's just kind of the way it goes. I mean, I guess it's understood when you're, thousands and thousands of miles away from each other. But yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. I wanted to hit a couple more chats, and then we're going to kind of turn our attention to kind of the week that was, like a typical podcast episode. We'll look back at the week that was behind us, look ahead at the week that's in front of us, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll hit a few more of these. I'm just now getting, I think, to the end of after the game was over, because people are celebrating, and then people are talking about the quality not being the best. Yeah, it unfortunately kind of is what it is. Foosball says, in Goga I trust. Goga was good tonight in large parts. Had a double-double. I think they said it was his first double-double of the season. So shout out to Goga for stepping in tonight. Obviously, Wendell missed the game. That's something to keep an eye out I'd like to think he'll be back on Thursday, with 3 full days of rest in between now and then, but we'll see. A couple more of these, and then we're gonna kind of talk about some of the things that were in the past. Blake says Mo kept us hyped. Yeah, Mo was in this game, and Mo played well too. 8 points in less than 10 minutes, and then also obviously the energy is what he brings. Q-Har says, are you enjoying snowy Europe? Yeah, actually, I can look out my window right now and see the snow on the ground here in Berlin, and I think it's like 15 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Like, it is brutally cold. Luckily, it's going to warm up, I think, a little bit by the time Jonathan gets here. So, yeah, it's 17 right now Fahrenheit here in Berlin. Yes, but I think by the time you get here, Jonathan, it'll be a nice, like, 31 maybe, something like that. So, you're welcome. Anyway.
Well, last I checked, there's like a 90% chance of snow on Tuesday. So we're hoping that we still get a little bit of that when we get there. Enjoy that, maybe for a day or so. And then if it wants to warm up, then that's great.
Well, the good news is, even if it doesn't actively snow, this snow that's out my window is not going anywhere because it's going to be so cold. So you'll at least get to see some, even if it's not falling from the sky, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Let's see here. I got a super chat from, oh no, wait, I thought I saw another one. Oh, here it is. Oh, I'm getting all these confused. Where did this one? Okay, whatever. Califam, did I read this one? I think I already did. Yeah, fourth quarter. Yeah, I did. Okay, I read that one already. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, the coaching through 3 quarters, the coaching, the play, however you want to, dice it up. We'll talk about that in a little bit, Jonathan and myself. But The Amazing Dream says, how did you watch the game, Kevin? That's actually a really good question. Long story short, NBA League Pass thought I was using a VPN because of this hotel Wi-Fi, I guess, goes through a VPN. So I had to watch it from my phone, which was like 360p the whole time. So I'm like squinting, didn't hope the shot went in. I don't know. It's a little bit weird, but anyway. All right, let's Jonathan, let's turn gears a little bit here now. I kind of want to give you the reins if you're down for this. You kind of want to, I don't know if we want to kind of recap the week because I haven't been here for a while. I don't know if we want to talk how far back we want to go, if we just want to go to Friday like normal, or I'll kind of let you drive for this next little part here as we kind of turn our attention to the whole week that was, I guess.
Really quickly, want to give a special shout out to some folks. Dead Air, Fritz, Junior Baruce, Mr. Mikey, and O-Town Chef. These are some of our Hall of Fame and Elite tier patrons. They went to patreon.com/the6man-show. Pick the tier that worked best for them. We literally can't do this Europe trip without all of your support. We're so grateful and so excited for this trip. We're going to try to document it and vlog as best as possible to try to bring you all along for the trip because we know not everyone has the privilege that we're about to have for this. So really, really appreciative of that. If you like what we do here, we do Magic content obviously throughout the regular season, but all year long. So if you're just now finding us, anytime we have a brand new patron, we give them a special shout out on our show, and we give a special shout out to some of our Hall of Fame and Elite tier patrons each and every episode. So if you want to be shout out like that, again, head to patreon.com/the6man-show. Pick whichever tier works best for you. But yeah, Kevin, let's go ahead and talk about this week's state of the Magic. This week, your Orlando Magic win 2-2 with the loss to Washington on Tuesday, the overtime win over the Nets on Wednesday, the loss to Philly at home on Friday, and now, as you all are watching this, the win over the Philadelphia 76ers on Sunday. The Magic are now 22-8 on the season after today's win, and at the time of this recording, there are other games that are going to be going on this evening, which might change some things a little bit. But as of, 5:51 Eastern time, the Magic are 6th in the East, 7 games back of Detroit, 3 games back of New York and Boston, a game and a half back of Toronto, 1 game back of Philadelphia, tied with Cleveland, 1 game up on Miami, 2 games up on Atlanta and Chicago. Taking a look at the advanced analytics, which of course NBA.com has not yet updated everything with the results of this game. But entering today, the Magic are 19th in offensive rating and 11th in the league in defensive rating and 15th now in overall net rating. Over the course of the last 15 games, giving us a little closer of a snapshot, the Magic are all the way down to 26th in offensive rating and they are 19th in defensive rating, and you can find them 26th overall in net rating. So the last 15 games, Kev, you might have mentioned this the first couple of minutes of the post-game live here, but over the last 13 games now, the Magic have not had consecutive wins or losses. They've gone win, loss, back and forth. And that 15-game kind of snapshot just really encapsulates that. In losses, the Magic are playing really badly. And in wins, the Magic are playing really badly, but find a way to play good enough for a few minutes to squeak out a win, kind of like they did in this one. So if you've been around for these post-game lives, Kev, I know you missed a couple at the beginning of the week. Wow. They sure were something, especially the chat. People are upset. People are frustrated, understandably so. And I am just hoping that it's kind of like a desperation thing at this point. We are desperate to get Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner back and then see what this team looks like and see what this team can do.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of why a game like today is frustrating. If a game like today against the Pelicans happened in an isolated incident, right? Like, the team didn't have it through 3 quarters, but the fourth quarter, they put it together and pulled out the win. If that happens, again, an isolated incident, I think we're fired up. Hey, we didn't play our best ball, but we found a way to win. But when this has been a consistent pattern for weeks now at this point, that's when I think it becomes a problem, and that's when it becomes a frustration point, I think, for a lot of Magic fans, which is kind of where I think a lot of us are today. It's like, yeah, we won. That's great. A win in the win column is huge. But, man, it did not feel good. And the only thing I will say, though, this fourth quarter I did enjoy more than some of those really ugly wins that we've had in those last couple weeks. Like, I thought this fourth quarter was more in line with Magic basketball, I think, especially because we saw some
12 minutes of Magic basketball, 12 straight minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so for that reason, I did enjoy this one a little bit more than some of those others.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Really quick, there were a couple of these messages I wanted to highlight. I know we were going to take a break from them, but there was a super chat earlier that the text was missing, and so he came back to say, I forgot to type my message into the super chat. Looking forward to meeting you and Jonathan in Berlin. Yes. Looking forward to meeting you as well. Hopefully we'll stop by the Irish pub pregame and say hey, and if not, hopefully we'll see you at the arena as well. And then, a couple other things here. One of them was Peter says, Guten Abend, Kevin. Guten Abend, Peter. Nice to see you. Good evening to you as well. And yeah, that's about it. So, Jonathan, can I give my thoughts? I don't know how much you want. Well, I guess we have to go through the whole Philly game. We haven't talked about the Philly game yet. So eventually I wanted to give my thoughts about that. But, the other thing I think we should talk about first, though, like, what do you think about Mo Wagner coming back? I know we're jumping the gun a little bit, but when it comes to injury report, Mo Wagner back tonight, how special was that moment?
It was awesome until the officiating crew completely fumbled it and screwed it up.
Yeah.
Like, that was just embarrassing. I do think, like, they're not 100% to blame. Like, Jamal kind of, like, waited until the very last second, like, when they're ready to resume play, to start screaming for Mo, like, at the end of the bench to bring him in. But it's like, read the room. Like, I don't think Adam Silver, like, Monty McCutcheon are going to, like, fine you for, I mean, they don't fine them for seemingly anything else that they do and screw up their job. So I don't know why they would have an issue with letting a guy into the game a half second after you're technically supposed to, in a moment like that. But no, it's just great to have him back. My favorite play of the night was him and Desmond Bane, like, getting that trap at half court, and forcing the turnover there. I felt like that was kind of like one of the turning points in the second half. It injected them with a little bit of energy to finish out that third quarter and I think close the lead to 7 going into the fourth. But just so good to have him back. I mean, I don't know if you got to see the pregame interview with him and JT, like, kind of in the back hallway of the Kia Center near the locker room there. But, it's just, he brings he's much more vocal than Franz. I know they have similar mindsets, but Mo just being so much more vocal and outspoken, he just brings, like, a down-to-earth and a level-headedness that I think this team really needs at times. He's always the not too high, not too low kind of guy, but I also do think he's another. We always talk about how guys can be on the bench and you can be talking to your teammates, but unless you're on the floor, like diving for loose balls and sweating next to these guys and competing, it just doesn't hit exactly the same way. But now that he's out there rocking the pinstripes, which he looked fantastic in, by the way, I really think like this game desperately needed that moment from Mo Wagner, and we only got, what was it, 9, almost 10 minutes out of him tonight. If you get 20 minutes of that and he's got more opportunities to make impact plays like that, it's only going to help this team, and just so freaking happy that he's back. I just love watching him play basketball.
And here's the thing, like, yeah, he was good, but you could tell there was some rust still there. Like, he's only going to get better. And the fact he was able to actually go out there and contribute in a win and obviously bring the energy that he always does, I thought was really, really special. But he's only going to get better, right? Like, the more reps he gets, the more minutes he gets, on and on, he's only going to get better. And so I'm excited. It's a little bit unfortunate that his return is so close to the Berlin game, because I don't expect him to play more than 10 minutes again on Thursday, probably, maybe 12. I doubt we're going to see 15 or more than that, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I'm just glad he's back.
Do you think he gets the start?
I thought about that. I wondered about that.
You have to. I think you have to.
You think so? Or do you let Franz let Franz get an ovation and then let Mo get an ovation later? I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe they both come in off the bench together. That would be something.
I thought about that as well. Yeah, that's like one of the leading storylines for me on Thursday is who's going to start first, because the Franz injury, and then second, like the whole like Wagner reception thing is going to be really fun. But yeah, that's
if in the starting lineup they announce them together?
Franz,
that would be
Moritz
a
Wagner.
moment. Yeah, that would be a moment in the starting lineup.
That would be a moment.
And now, starting at the other forward and center, from Berlin, that would go crazy.
That would go crazy. Either way, it doesn't matter how they decide to do it. They will go crazy. But anyway, yeah, that was a really special moment.
Well, let's take a quick look at the injury report. I know that's really the best way to lead it, is the fact that Mo Wagner is back. But Wendell Carter missed this one, right hip strain. Tristan Da Silva, Jonathan Isaac, they were kind of up in the air coming into this game. Tristan with the back spasms, J.I. fighting some kind of illness. And then Jalen Suggs still out with the MCL contusion, the right knee. Franz Wagner still out with the left high ankle sprain. It was interesting because, like, earlier in the week, Jalen was, like, doubtful, and then he was downgraded out for these last couple of games. So it does feel like they were like, hey, let's just get him another week of rest. These, are 2 games that you really could have won, Philadelphia and, like, on the road, when it was, Washington and Brooklyn, he's doubtful, and then they get home and he's just ruled out for those games. So, I mean, now they have, what is it, 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they'll be off. So I can't not believe that, especially Franz, but Jalen as well won't be back, for that one.
Yeah, Franz, it's a no-brainer. Like, he's not going to miss that game. And then, yeah, Jalen, I don't know. I think a lot of people thought Jalen will be back by now. And so I'd like to think, like you said, with these 3 days between games, that he will be back. But that would be crazy to actually be full strength on Thursday. Because, right, like, assuming Wendell, this was just a 1-game thing, you get Jalen back, you get Franz back, Mo's back, that would put us full strength, right? I mean, that'd be the first time all season, which is really, really crazy.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about these games a little bit. First of all, I wanted to ask your thoughts of we're going to go back a little bit, further than maybe some people want to, and I promise we'll make this quick. But, like, the Wizards game at the beginning of the week, starters obviously didn't have it. They're down by 26. Bench unit comes in. Mosley kind of rides them all the way to the end, and then they just come up short. But what was your opinion on all of that and how that went down?
Man, I think I texted you after the game. Like, I legitimately could not believe what I watched. And I mean the whole thing. Like, the fact that the starters did what they did through the first 3 quarters They just looked absolutely horrible. I know the Wizards right now are actually a good basketball team, right? They're playing 500 ball, and they've beaten some good teams during that stretch. But still, like, you expect the Magic to be better than that. I was so disappointed with how they looked. Only for the basically third unit to come into that game and turn it around was just shocking. And not just that they did it, but how quickly they did it, right? They turned that game around so fast. But then the fourth quarter, down the stretch of the fourth quarter, you could just see, like, they were gassed. They didn't have it in them. And I knew with like 3-4 minutes left that there was no way they had enough in the tank to bring it back. And so, that coach is in a predicament, right? Do you just stick with these guys? You know what you see. Optically it looks like they're about out of it. But you also know that your starters didn't give you anything. And so if it was up to me, I probably would have done the same thing if I'm being honest. If anything, not just about winning the game, but about sending a message to the starters because they were so bad. And it's one thing to just be missing shots or whatever. It was energy and effort stuff. Some of the same stuff we talked about earlier. And so for those reasons to be why you were getting absolutely destroyed by the Washington Wizards, you trailed by as much as I think 26 in this game, which is just ludicrous. That's crazy stuff. I just couldn't believe it. And so, yeah, all I had to say, I was okay with the starters thing. I know it's a tough call, but I was okay with it in the end.
And then how was it? So tell people, I guess you've been waking up at like 6, 7 a.m. to watch these games. And then what was it like waking up to that Brooklyn game?
Yeah, so basically what I've been doing is I've been going to bed relatively early because I did a ton of stuff when I was in London this past week. So I was exhausted at the end of every day. And so I would just hit do not disturb and go to sleep. And then as soon as I wake up, I put on the Magic game just to see what happened. And so, yeah, that was a Wednesday night game. So Thursday morning I wake up and I breezed through the game just like I did with the other ones. And yeah, that one was tough too because I couldn't believe that ending either, right? Like you feel like the Magic have this game put away. They led by, I want to say like 13, 12, something like that.
18 in the third.
Yeah, I was thinking the fourth quarter, but yeah, 18 in the third.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it led by I think like 13 or 14 in the fourth. Like at this point I'm like, okay, finally. We're going to put away a bad team. It's going to be great. Can't wait. And then, of course, that random stuff happens. And, of course, it's a random dude that kills us again. I don't want to be disrespectful. He's not random. He's a good basketball player, but still, you just expect
and
on paper you expect this basketball team to put away a team like the Nets when you're up 18 in the third or 14 in the fourth or whatever it was. And so the fact you give up that run and it goes to overtime, I'm thinking it's over. I'm thinking it's GG's. Like, this thing is done. Magic find themselves in a decent position in overtime, and then again, you find a way to basically hand the game. I don't want to say hand the game over. The Nets made some really impressive moments. Had some really impressive moments. The bank three, it's a little bit of luck there, but once that went in, I'm just like, okay, now it's over. There's no way. And then, long story short, the Paolo three happens, which is just the dumbest thing yet. Like. It's one thing if he swished it, I feel a little bit more like, but you bank it in. I'm just like, it's tough. But yeah, that was a wild moment,
and he said it was lucky.
Yeah, and my jaw dropped. I was just like, but I didn't really like freak out or go crazy. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. That's how that game ends. So yeah, both of those games, man, what a mess. But I guess a win is a win, and again, you win the second night of back-to-back again, which this team has done really well this season, which I don't know why or how, but I'll give them credit for that.
Well, Friday night, again, we were out of town. We were at my wife's really big work event that she has, once a year where like all of the doctors that she works with, everybody gets together for their annual meeting. We're at dinner. And like always, I've got my phone like propped up on like a little water canteen watching this game. But Magic lose this one 103-91 at home to Philadelphia, an 8-point loss. And the difference in this game was the possession battle. The Magic give them essentially 39 extra possessions between turnovers and offensive rebounds. The Magic committed 18 turnovers, and Philly had 21 offensive rebounds. They scored, I think it was 20 points off of those 18 turnovers. I don't have the second chance points in front of me, but at the end of the day, neither team shot the ball particularly well. Magic 40.9%, Philadelphia 41.1%, Magic 13.8 from three, and the 76ers 14.3%. Like, this was a pillow fight. This game essentially was. But Philly, 95 attempts to the Magic's 88 overall, and 24 free throw attempts to the Magic's 18. So that difference, they literally just had more possessions. That's what this game came down to, and it was especially frustrating just seeing guys just throw the ball away to the other team. And at times, especially at the end of the game, and I understand when, Maxey hits the three. I think the Magic were down by 13, like with a few minutes to go, and they end up making it a little bit closer at the end. But the game was decided. And like you see, like Paolo had a really bad turnover, and it's just like jogging back, and Philly just gets a wide open layup. I don't mean to make it all about Paolo. That was just a play that really stuck out to me. It was a problem with the entire team the entire night. It's been a problem with the entire team really the last entire month. And that's why people are so frustrated. That's why after every game, it's just doom and gloom, because it's never about the game that you watched. It's always about the accumulation of these continued moments in this trend that we've seen over the last month. And I think that's why the fire Jamal Mosley, rhetoric is ramping up more, because people want to see a change. And at this point, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a major roster move or anything. Again, I'm not here advocating at this point in time for Jamal Mosley to be fired. I do think that Franz, Jalen come back, they have a chance to turn the season around. Now, if those guys come back and you continue to do this for a few weeks, we can have that conversation again at that point. But even though I do think people are maybe turning the temperature up a little bit too high, I know that it's coming from a place of, it's not about the individual games that we're watching. It's about the fact that basically every single game for about the last 5 weeks, you can kind of put it into the same genre, if you will. So this game was super frustrating in that regard, and yet another game where the Magic struggle mightily offensively, and then a lot of times on the other end, they're allowing it to affect their play on the other end of the floor.
Yeah, you talk about struggling offensively, especially in the fourth quarter again. I talked about it a little bit before, you hopped in here today, but the fourth quarter offense the last 2 weeks has truly been abysmal. I think back to now it's going to be 2 Mondays ago against Toronto, in Toronto, right? You had 12 points in the fourth quarter. That kind of jump-started this run of horrible fourth quarter offenses. And, that obviously continued. What was that? I'm trying to think. I'm getting all my days mixed up because I'm a little bit of ahead. Friday night, I guess, against Philadelphia at home, that continued then. And so I think that's also why a game like this today was a positive term with the fourth quarter. But yeah, the offense in the fourth quarter has just been so bad, and I want to say I know what the problem is, but I really don't. I feel like the blame can go in a lot of different directions. I do think coaching can be at some level to blame for continuing offensive struggles in the fourth quarter. I think your star players, that's when your star player is supposed to step up in fourth quarters. And I think right now, especially because when I say star players, it's not just Paolo anymore. I include Desmond Bane in that as well. Your best players should step up in the fourth quarter and not necessarily always score, although I think that's part of it. They should be making good plays in the fourth quarter, and I don't think either of them have made some of the better plays in the fourth quarters down the stretch lately. They have made some good plays, don't get me wrong, but in some of these games where it's been woeful fourth quarter offense, I look to those guys first. I need you guys to elevate your game in the fourth quarter, and when that doesn't happen, I think that's a problem. So, yeah, the Philly game, though, that was tough. That was tough to watch in the fourth.
Yeah, the last 15 games, the Magic are 29th in the league in offensive rating, and they are 14th in defensive rating and 26th in overall net rating. So that's been really rough. You know what I think the problem is genuinely, Kevin? I think these guys are probably playing the fourth quarters pretty hungry.
Oh, you think so? You think maybe so? Maybe after the fourth quarter they should go to Jam Hot Chicken. Is that what you're suggesting?
Maybe in the middle of between the third and fourth quarters they should take a stop there.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Oh, that's a good one, Jonathan. It is time to talk about Jam Hot Chicken, but we can't talk about Jam Hot Chicken on a Monday episode without talking about this week's Jam Hot Chicken Jam of the Week, which comes courtesy of Wendell Carter Jr. He actually opened the scoring on Wednesday night's game with this throwdown. Look at that. What a way to start the game. You think, oh, man, it's smooth sailing from here. Wendell Carter Jr. yams it with the right hand. But no, as we talked about, it wasn't smooth sailing the rest of the way. But fortunately for us, we do have Paolo Banchero to bank home a game winner. But you don't have to worry about banking anything home with Jam Hot Chicken because you're just going to get a home run every time you go because they're bringing Jam's culture and hot chicken to the heart of Winter Park and to Winter Garden. Jam Hot Chicken is a Nashville and LA-inspired hot chicken shack, locally owned and operated. They make some of the best chicken in Central Florida. We think it's the best chicken in Central Florida. And whether you go to their Winter Garden or Winter Park location, we promise you won't be disappointed. You can visit their website, jamhotchickenfl.com, or check out their social media, Jam Hot Chicken on all social media. Instagram is a great place to follow them because they post some amazing pictures and videos of their food that are just going to make you hungry. Okay, so the other thing you got to know about Jam Hot Chicken, you can use code 6THMAN, that's SIXTHMAN, at their online checkout to get 10% off, or you can just tell the person, if you're ordering in person, tell the person behind the counter, hey, I got this code, it's 6THMAN. They'll give you 10% off as well. So we love Jam Hot Chicken because they love the Orlando Magic and this amazing fan community. So shout out to Jam Hot Chicken for sponsoring the show. Uh-oh. We lost Jonathan's audio. Was that me or you, Jonathan? Let's see.
Nope, I'm here. And this episode is also brought to you by the Posit Group. Sorry, I might muted my mic there for a second. The Posit Group is your home team on and off the court. They are your Orlando real estate resource of choice. Not only are they the real estate sponsor of the Six Man Show, but this year they're also the real estate sponsor of the Orlando Magic, and they also happen to be the most followed real estate brand in Central Florida and in the Orlando area. They have over 1,700 plus 5-star reviews, and they were the 2025 Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando, the best real estate company in Orlando. They were also the 2025 ORPYS Real Estate Team of the Year, so they're winning awards over there left and right, and it's because they're impacting lives through real estate. Posit Group agents outsell the competition by 5 times, and they're also in the top 1% of sales in the United States. So if you're in the Orlando area or in the Central Florida area and you're going to be in the real estate market, whether you're looking to buy a home or maybe you're looking to sell your home, Ken and his team are the team that you should trust. You can find out more information about them at posic.com. And when you contact them, let them know that the boys over at the Six Man Show sent you. Okay, we've taken care of the housekeeping stuff. Why don't we go back to the chat, Kev? What are people saying about tonight's game?
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of talk about tonight's game, but a lot of talk about Europe. There's a lot of people asking, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but what's the temperature in Berlin right now? It was 17 degrees the last time I checked, about 40 minutes ago at the start of this show. It is now 16 degrees Fahrenheit here in Berlin. So, yeah, the temperature continues to drop. I think the low tonight is 13. So it's going to be very cold, and the snow is still on the ground. But, yeah, it's going to warm up a little bit as the week goes on, which we're glad to see. Let's see. The Amazing Dream says it's Monday over there now. Yes, it is 12:16 a.m. I am tired, but at least a Magic win gets me a little bit fueled. Luca Lele says, so excited Mo is back for Berlin when he comes here to the UK. Looking forward to hopefully meeting you guys. Yes, we'd love to meet you as well. Again, if you're going to that London game, our meetup is going to be at the Pilot in Greenwich, which is like a 10-minute walk from O2 Arena pregame. So hope you'll come hang out with us. And if not, maybe we can see you at the arena. That'd be really fun too. Daidalos, who is a Europe-based Magic fan, says, good evening. Have to get up for work in 6 hours, but at least we won. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And then, let's see. We did have a few comments about the game. Let's see. Or about the team. This one says, what happens to Black when Suggs comes back? Move to the bench or stay as a starter? I've seen a lot more people asking this question because of Anthony Black's play lately, and he has been very, very good of late. I would love to hear your thoughts first, Jonathan, about that question when Jalen Suggs comes back.
He's had an amazing game. I think coming into this one, over the last 13 games, he's averaging just over 20 points per game. We have seen him come back down to earth a little bit over the last handful of games, but it's obvious that the leap that he's taken in a lot of ways is real, right? Getting to the rim, finishing, shooting especially. All that being said, you desperately need an elite point of attack defender in this lineup to guard the other team's best guards. Anthony Black, as good as he is defensively, he still gets beat a little bit too often on that end for my liking. And if, Paolo and Bane were a little bit better defensively, I think you could probably, maybe get me closer to buying into that. But at the end of the day, Jalen, and especially Jalen, but Franz as well, those guys are obviously the engine that makes this team go. And I think Anthony Black is much more suited to be that kind of scoring guard off the bench as opposed to Jalen. So love the way that Anthony Black has been playing. I do think, he's coming back down to earth a little bit here, which is to be expected. He was on quite the heater. And that's not anything I'm not trying to take anything away from Anthony Black. I just think the things that Jalen Suggs brings to this team are much needed. And you never want to see a guy lose his spot to injury. I don't think that's going to happen with Jalen. Fully expect him to be back in the starting lineup when he's ready to go.
The other side of that coin for me is people talk about, has Anthony Black earned a start, whatever. I just think about how strong the bench unit will be when Jalen Suggs comes back, because now you've got Mo Wagner coming back. You add Anthony Black to that bench unit. The bench unit has really, 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 really struggled over the last, 2, 3, 4 weeks, however long it's been. And so I think injecting that bench unit with an Anthony Black and with a Mo Wagner, I think is going to work wonders.
And so allow the bench unit to get more minutes with Jalen, Desmond, Paolo, Franz, etc. is just going to make those lineups a lot better too.
100%. Let me hit a couple more messages here. Rafa Air says, which section are your seats in Berlin? I just had to look it up. We are section 219 in Berlin on Thursday. So that is where Jonathan and myself will be. Didalos chiming in with that conversation says Suggs has to start, so that means Black is the sixth man. Look at that. There we go. We're on the same brain wavelengths right there, because I think the second unit will be huge with Anthony Black and Mo Wagner. Heck yeah says we are on a 45-win pace right now, hoping that picks up with a healthier second half of the season. 100%.
Really quickly, I do have something on that. Last year, when the Pacers went on their Europe trip, when they played, the two games, and I think they were both in France with San Antonio, they were 24-19 when they went on that trip. Your Orlando Magic right now are 22-18. They split those games in France with San Antonio, so they were 25-20 when they got back on that trip. And they went 30-12 the rest of 25-12 the rest of the season to finish 15-32.
And went to the NBA Finals. Just going to throw that part in there.
Yes, let's not forget that. But
yeah, that was a generational run. So, hey, look, sometimes maybe a trip like this can inspire that, but I think also getting healthy is going to be a big part of that as well. But, yeah, that was a pretty special run from them. And the thing is, I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. I still think this team is capable of that. I really, really do. I think this team is capable of being one of, if not the best team in the Eastern Conference. I think you just got to get healthy. You got to get this funk out of here, whatever it is. And maybe it's just having a nice stretch of home games, which the team will have here eventually at some point. I promise. It's coming on the schedule. It feels like, I know we had 2 games at home back-to-back here this weekend, but before that, it was just 1 game here, 1 game there. And so getting some time at home will be huge, and getting healthy, I think, will also be big too.
Totally agree.
Jonathan, I kind of want to talk about this week, not necessarily just the week ahead, because obviously that's part of what we do on the show, and we'll give our predictions and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of want to talk about this week in Europe. Like, first off, I know we briefly touched on it at the beginning, but like, how freaking excited are you personally? Before we talk about basketball, like, how excited are you for this?
I just like I was talking to talking to somebody at church today about it, and just like the fact that started the podcast, it'll be 7 years ago next month, and like never would have believed that basically everything that has happened would have happened, but definitely never could have imagined that it would kind of help take us across the world to follow this team and to watch this team. So just like incredibly, immensely grateful that we have this opportunity. And yeah, the way that it worked out, it just kind of made sense. Like we didn't want to be getting into the city like the morning of games and things like that. So we are going to have some extra time to spend in each one of these cities, and just super fired up about that. Super fired up to see a lot of Magic fans who are making the same trip that we are over there. But maybe even more so, like excited to meet some of the people that have been like watching our content and supporting our content like from afar, and supporting this team from afar. And so excited that they get to, watch this team in, relatively close to their hometown and like somewhat normal hours for them. But yeah, man, I'm really excited. Like traveling's always fun, like that excitement that you get on the way to the airport. I'm looking forward to like experiencing the culture there, and obviously the food. We've talked, Kevin and I have been talking about food nonstop, when it comes to this trip for, several weeks. He's been kind of scoping out some things for me as well, which I really appreciate. I'm excited for that. Friday in London, the wife and I are going to go see Wicked, so I'm excited for that as well. So like not only is this going to be just like an awesome trip from like a basketball perspective, but it just the fact that like we get to experience these awesome cities on the other side of the world, and meet so many of you that have helped like support the show over the years. So I could not be more excited. Like as much as I'm loving doing this show, in my mind, I'm like, all right, as soon as I get off of here, man, like we're in full Europe mode. I finished packing, going to bed, waking up, going to the airport. Cannot wait.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously seeing the games will be fun, and the Berlin game I think will be really, really fun with the whole, home atmosphere for the Wagner brothers. But I think I am equally, if not more excited for the pregame gatherings, like the meetups, because
yeah,
like we put some feelers out there for some interest, and we're like about 50 people at each one is what it sounds like. We have had more people reply to like our social media posts since then. There's going to be a decent number of more people that show up there at these things, and just the fact that we're going to have at least 50 Magic fans from literally all over the world that are gathered just to hang out and get to know each other and just eat and drink together before the game on the other side of the globe, like not in Central Florida, is just the freaking coolest thing. I cannot, like, that's
really
literally
is.
why we exist. That's why we do this, to bring Magic fans together. And so I'm so excited about that. That's going to be awesome. I've loved my time in London. I was in London, the last 5 days. I just got to Berlin tonight, so I haven't even done anything in Berlin other than eat at the Burger King downstairs in my hotel because I didn't want to go back out in the cold. I was tired. But yeah, I had some nice Berlin Burger King. But anyway, don't judge me. I'll get some real food tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited to be here in Berlin, a place I've never been before. That's going to be cool too. So I did see a message in the chat about this, a couple things. Portsmouth Orlando Magic is back. Says, what blocks are you lads in for the London game? We are in 406, so we're upstairs for the London game. We didn't have enough money to sit downstairs at both games because these games were so expensive. So yeah, we're up in 406. And then he says, also, GG's for today's game, Kevin. I was in the home end. Oh, yeah, with the Portsmouth name. That makes sense. And even though I had no illusions we'd beat Arsenal, it was a fun atmosphere and day. Well, hey, you got off to a flying start on 3 minutes there. That was pretty wild. But yeah, I appreciate the GGs. Yeah, that was fun. And hey, look, it's the FA Cup. Anything's possible. But yeah, I'm glad you're able to go at least be there for a game like that and at least experience that first goal. I'm sure that was that was pretty mental there in the home end. That's pretty fun.
More goals than Kevin got to see, you know?
That is true. That is true. We haven't even talked about that on the show. Yeah, I got to see Arsenal for the first time in person on Thursday against Liverpool, and yeah, didn't even get to see a score. So now I have to come back and watch us score sometime. Let's see. We have a Luke here who says we need a Magic International game in Australia. Happily show you all around. There are a surprising number of Magic fans in Australia. That would be really fun to do that. That's a whole different level of travel, though. Like,
Yeah.
New York to London, 6 hours. Dunskies, 7 maybe. East Coast to Australia is a different animal, but maybe someday. So, anyway, I think that's about it from the chat. Jonathan, do we want to give our predictions now for this week? As we look ahead to these 2 games, is it that time of the show?
I think it might be. We have to go undefeated. We have to win these games. We're flying all the way across the world. The team is flying all the way across the world. Everybody wants to see the Magic sweep the Memphis Grizzlies on this trip. So that's what I'm choosing to believe, that the Magic are gonna get our guys back. Memphis hasn't been playing terribly this season, right? Obviously they've been injured, as have we. Both teams right now are in the postseason. The Magic are in the playoffs right now. The Grizzlies are in the play-in. They're in the hunt there. But as we've seen, the Magic really can't overlook any opponent right now. But I'm just choosing to believe that, yes, we get Franz, we get Jalen, we have Mo. Just a new level of energy is injected into this team, the likes of which we haven't had in over a month. And not only did the Magic win, but they win both games in convincing fashion.
And you add to that the whole Ja Morant thing that's going on now, where it's kind of crazy that news leaked, quote unquote. I'm always so skeptical.
Bother flying?
That's the thing.
Does he get traded in Europe?
Imagine you're a Grizzlies. I don't know how many Grizzlies fans are making this trip because I don't know. But imagine you're a Grizzlies fan that flies all the way over here, or you just happen to be a Grizzlies fan who lives in Europe and you've been waiting forever to see your star player play. And the week of this trip, Shams announces that, the Grizzlies are shopping him. I just couldn't believe that came out when it did. But regardless, we'll see what happens. Whether it actually happens.
The Hawks saw Trey get traded, and they're like, we could get all that for Ja?
Yeah, right.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think he's going to be traded this week, but it definitely adds a little bit of a spice level to it, I think, for sure. I did want to mention really fast. Oh wait, I didn't give my prediction. Yeah, you gotta go 2-0. You gotta beat the Grizzlies. You're winning Thursday. You can't lose Thursday. First off, you just can't. You cannot lose in Berlin. And then I'll pick us to win in London on Sunday too. I think that'd be really fun. And then that breaks the win-loss curse that we've been under for the last month. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I wanted to remind everybody a couple things. First off, vote for the All-Stars. All-Star voting is still going on. Vote for whatever Magic players you want. Doesn't matter. Just vote Magic players. The second thing, we should have talked about this at the very beginning, but the content this week is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be doing live shows after each game. But because we're going to the game, they're not going to start immediately after the game like our typical live shows do. It might be even an hour after the game at some point. But I know East Coast time, that's not that big of a deal because these games start at 2 p.m. and 12 p.m. respectively. So we're still talking about afternoon, evening games. It's not like they're going to be late night games East Coast time. But I just want to give everybody a heads up about that. That's going to be really, really fun. Jonathan, do you have anything else? Any other final thoughts or other things that we missed before we get out of here?
No, StatMuse tweeted this out about an hour ago. I guess we missed this. Anthony Black versus the Pelicans, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 9 of 10. The first guard in the 21st century with 25, 5, 5, 3 on 90% field goal percentage in a game.
Whoa. That's fascinating.
The first guard to do that in, at least 27 years.
Wow. Okay. How about that? So AB's the real deal.
Something.
Wouldn't that be great off the bench? That's what I'm saying. So, just kidding. All right, you got nothing else, Jonathan?
Nope, that's it.
All right, then I think that's going to do it for us. Next time you hear from Jonathan, he'll be with me here in Berlin. And so, yeah, very, very fired up. Thursday, Magic, Grizzlies, 2 p.m. Eastern tip-off, 8 p.m. tip-off here in Berlin. It's 12:30 in the morning on Monday here. I'm done. I'm tired. We're going to go to bed. We'll talk to you guys Thursday after that game in Berlin. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. But until then, of course, let's go Magic.